deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music.
Hello out there, radio podcast land. This is Furious, Deeper Than Music Radio. Behind every great song, there's an even greater story. This is the platform where we have up-and-coming and well-known artists, give them a chance to talk about their story, their journey through music, their story behind the music, and what inspires them to do what they do. And today we have a very special guest by way of Alabama. She's a double threat, if you want to say. She's an actress and then also a singer. 3 genres: country, R&B, and rock. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Alecia Elliot here on Deeper Than Music Radio. How you doing, Alicia?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, not a problem. Thank you for joining us here on Deeper Than Music Radio. And this is episode 2. We had a little bit of technical difficulties this Friday, but you know we're going to keep the party rolling. So this is take 2 of our interview. So I guess my first question is, today I did some further research, found out that you also a country singer, and you had an album out in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I guess the first question is, who is Alecia Elliot, and describe yourself as an artist and what your sound is.
Well, I started singing when I was a kid, so I've done a lot of different things as far as genres, and now in my life, and pretty much when I was a teenager, I knew that R&B and rock were things that I was drawn to as far as singing, and mostly I sang R&B. I did get a record deal on MCA in Nashville and put out a country album called I'm Digging It. When I was 16, it came out. And then when I was 17, I moved to Los Angeles to do the TV show on NBC called All About Us. And those things were kind of, they all sort of happened really quickly. But as far as now and the kind of music I do, I listened to both rock and R&B music. So I was influenced by both a lot in my teen years and adulthood. So being influenced by both, I just wanted to merge them. I wanted to try to do something. I know like people like Tina Turner have they did things like that in their time, and I just really wanted to try to do that now. And so that's the kind of thing I was going for with my music today. So.
Sorry, you got to restate your influences. We were talking earlier, and she stated some of her influences. And listeners, after you hear her influences and after you hear her music, you'll definitely figure this out. A very soulful voice, and I told her earlier that her sound reminds me of Pink, and then the story, like what you kind of hinted to, it kind of parallels to whereas with Pink they wanted R&B. Her first album, she's like, no, my sound is a blend of everything. So who are your influences? Who influences you musically?
Well, and I'm sort of everywhere with that, but I definitely, Billie Holiday is somebody that I've always been very drawn to in that time. I love that era of music. I love Etta James, Aretha Franklin, Aaliyah, DMX. I like Tupac. I listen to a lot of those things. I also listen to a lot of Alice in Chains and Nirvana and Sublime and, No Doubt. So I listened to a lot of different things, mostly rock and R&B, but that's kind of where that came from. And I definitely, even Jimi Hendrix and,
oh yeah.
I can't get enough of all of it. I love it. So I've definitely been influenced and inspired by all of those things. And that's why I wanted to merge the two.
And that's very, like, the people that you like are very, you can feel their music. You can feel through their voice, you can feel their music, like Aretha Franklin, R.E.S.P.C.T., DMX, even Aaliyah, and of course like Jimi Hendrix, a very, very talented musician. So you hinted at being a musician at 16, and also I read on your Wikipedia that you were discovered by I can't remember her name offhand. I know she's okay.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so how was that experience as a 16-year-old being discovered, and then okay, now you're signed to a country label? How was all that experience? How was that?
Well, truly, when I met Lori Morgan, I was only 9 years old.
Wow.
My parents used to take me places, and like they would take me every weekend to Nashville and ask different bars and clubs, hey, can my daughter sing? And most of them said yes. A few said no. One place I actually ended up getting a job there on weekends and getting lots of other things happen. I was only 10 then. So I met Lori Morgan when I was 9. And I went to a concert of hers. I handed her a demo tape of mine at her tour bus. And I sent a little napkin because I used to love Lori Morgan. Lori Morgan was one of my favorite artists. And I asked her if I could sing one of her songs with her. And I'm pretty sure it was We Both Walk. And she actually got me up to sing with her. And that was my first real big thing. So it definitely sticks in my memory. It was awesome of her to do that for a little girl. But I ended up getting the record deal when I was 15, and the album come out when I was 16. So
that's got to be an awesome experience, and I'm pretty sure, and which is cool, is like, so that was at a young age, and then you got to see how the industry works, and now you're seasoned. And so was it kind of like that I know with Pink, L.A. Reid and Babyface were like, this is what you're going to do. Did you go into it like bright-eyed, like, okay, was it kind of like a manufacturing moment? But I mean, it gave you more experience, but you knew in your heart, like, okay, second go round, I want to merge genres. And
yeah, I mean, it definitely, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And it was definitely an honor to just be given the chance to do what I did with the country album. And, it was fun and it was exciting and it was a learning experience. And I was just a kid. So, there were things that definitely in the business a kid's probably not ready for. Yeah. But God put me there for a reason. And I have that now. And I have that wisdom. And yes, like you said, seasoned. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Because, yes, I've learned a few tricks and I know how people act. And you got to learn that because the wolves will eat the raw meat. You got to be ready.
Yeah, you hear it.
Too much to put them in there like that. But it's just, it's the way it is. So, this time around, I definitely wanted to do something that I thought represented me well and not do what others wanted me to do so much. And that's important, because the audience can understand when they feel it's you and it's your words and it's what you want to say and you're saying it the way you want to say it. It's healing for others because they can understand it.
Exactly.
Intended,
Exactly, and that's what I found interesting was a lot of people, and we brought up Aaliyah. I didn't realize that Aaliyah didn't write a lot of her stuff. It was like Static Major, rest in peace, and a lot of Missy Elliott, R. Kelly, and they all like wrote. But I was actually watching an interview, and she was like, "Okay, I got the song. This is how I wanted to make the song." And actually, there was a song, like one of my favorite Brandy songs. She has a song called "He Is." And to me, it sounds like she's talking to God. And she's like, when I got the lyrics, I was talking about God. I was talking about, the man in my life and this, and that. And I think in itself, not to discredit them, it's a talent to take a song and make it your own. For example, Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, Dolly Parton, but Whitney made it her own. So
she should.
But it's
and they all made that song beautiful in complete different ways. But Whitney is amazing. Oh my! And I can't even believe I didn't say her as one of my favorites and an influence because she was definitely somebody I used to try to sing some stuff.
So what we'll do is we'll go into your a song that we have now. I have queued up. It's called "Fever of Love." We'll go ahead and play that for the audience. Do you want to give us a little introduction to it before we play it?
Yeah, this song, the guitarist in the band. He started playing some stuff he had written, and it was just beautiful. But it reminded me of a movie called Fright Night from the 80s. And if there's a scene, I don't know if you remember the movie, but there's a scene in the movie, and the music it's the same mood as the music in Fever of Love. And so I had that in mind, and I kept that in mind, and was definitely influenced by that scene in writing this song. So,
Okay, so we'll go ahead and play "Fever of Love." I'll think of Fright Night as I'm listening to it, and so here we are, "Fever of Love," Alecia Elliot here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
Drive me insane. You know just what to say. Make me forget what's right. You make me feel alive. Baby, I love all the ways you're wanting me, the way you want it, oh, the way you're wanting me. I love all the ways you're wanting me, the way you want it. Oh, the way you're wanting me. Candles light up the room. You know just what to do. Feel my burning desire. Your love sets me on fire. Baby, I love all the ways you're wanting me, the way you want it, oh, the way you're wanting me. I love all the ways you're wanting me, the way you want it, oh, the way you're wanting me. Got your drugs you
Alecia Elliot,
give drive me
Fever of Love.
insane.
Here on Deeper Than Music Radio. Yo, Alicia, you there?
yes.
Yeah, it does have like that Fright Night feel to it.
It
Very,
does.
very,
doesn't it?
very good song. Very good song.
Thank you.
So that was the motivation behind that song. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So when did you know that you wanted to be a recording artist? Like when was that moment? Do you remember?
I just remember when I was a kid, I knew what I was supposed to do. I knew that music and singing was a part of my life. I didn't really know the reason. I just knew that it was. You know, the older I get, the more I realize, you know, even though I've
Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we lost the call, but we're reconnecting right now. Hello, Alicia, you there? Yeah, we got we got disconnected. The joy of internet radio, but we gotta keep it rolling. So the question was, when did you know that you wanted to be an artist? And you say
I always knew. And even through the moments we're taking a break, definitely a much needed break. But I've always known. I always come back to it because it's a part of who I am, and I think I know everybody is given a gift. And I believe when we're given those gifts, we should use them. So I definitely know, and I've always known that was a part of my life.
And, so, like, I'm trying to think here.
We got thrown off.
Yeah, like, so what inspires you to create? Like, what's your inspiration? Like, what inspires you?
I'm inspired by my life. I'm inspired by the people around me and by my journey and the things I've been through and the things I go through. And I know that we're all very much alike. So if I talk about my life and the things I know and I use the wisdom that I've gained through these years, then I'm going to touch something that other people understand,
And I've always said that that a good artist is one that connects to people, and it's all about the human level. So that's pretty awesome. And then I want to get into, because we also mentioned that you're also an actress. How did that come about? Did that come about after singing, after you did your first album, or was that like in parallel?
It came after the first album, the country album. I'm Digging It. It had a pop feel to it, which was not. It was kind of like a Taylor Swift thing before they were ready for it, because it wasn't really country like, what they were used to hearing. But it did snag the attention of NBC in Los Angeles. And that was they were just interested in using, sort of a bit of my story, but with a false character. And in a show called All About Us. And it was on every Saturday morning. It was a Peter Engel show. And, it really just fell in my lap, and it had a lot to do with, I think, some of the videos we did for I'm Digging It and things like that. So,
wow. And I read that the first episode was direct. You also co-wrote the theme song, correct?
I did, yes. Yeah. The song's called Brand New Day.
And how was that experience? Was that pretty cool to be able to co-write?
It was very cool. And actually, writing is very important to me, and it's become more important to me now that I'm older. And I think it's just because of what I said. I mean, you're inspired by the things you go through. And I was most definitely going through things at that age, but I have so much more to write about now that it's easier for me now than it used to be then. But it was an honor to be able to do it and actually use something that I was a part of. So. And
then I've read that. So, Fred Savage directed the first episode. Did you actually get to meet Fred Savage while they were?
I did meet him, yeah. He directed a couple, and which was an honor because I grew up watching him too. So, and he was so nice and super sweet, and it was just fun to work with him because of knowing him, and he did a great job, and he was easy to work with.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Wonder Years, Little Monsters.
Yes, I thought. I kept thinking of was the Little Monsters.
Him and Howie Mandel. That's pretty cool.
That's what kept popping up in my mind.
So we'll go ahead and go into another song here. Never Look Back. Actually, this is one of my favorites as well. I like this one, and I like Voodoo. But we got Never Look Back queued up. So what's the story behind this song?
Never Look Back is just, it's like a girl that's fed up. She's a teenager, obviously. In those ages where I seen this kind of going, was somebody that's fed up with the small town, and she's ready to go, and she sees somebody that looks like he feels the same way, and they just have a connection. They have this love, so they can move on and adventure and never look back, and that's okay with them. So that's kind of the motivation behind this song. I sort of felt that way with my husband too. I mean, I obviously felt that way with my husband. This song, I used inspiration from that, as well as just kind of like somebody would write a book, about some fictional characters. So I used my love life and also, added some things. So.
Oh, that's cool. So it's basically loosely based off of your experience. So here we go. Alecia Elliot, Never Look Back, here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
Sick of just sitting around here, feeling like I need to catch my breath. Got me running for the first to get out of here, looking for a scene to clear my head. Just a small town, everybody gossips. Let's make it interesting. I propose we make another concept. Are you looking to escape? Sounds good to me, down it just sound good to you. He said, I'll pack my bags and run away with you. Never look back, it's such a tempting, wicked thing you do. When you're next to me, I can do anything. I'll pack my bags and run away with you. Never look back. Intoxicating energy out there, so many adventures to be made. You and I have what it takes to get out there. It's fate how you and me we feel the same. Let's never waste another second and explore the great unknown. Together we can make forever any place we wanna go. Sounds good to me, down it just sound good to you. He said, I'll pack my bags and run away with you. Never look back, such a tempting, wicked thing you do. When you're next to me, I can do anything. I'll pack my bags and run away with you. Never look back. Sounds good to me, down it just sound good to you. He said, I'll pack my bags and run away with you. Never look back, such a tempting, wicked thing you do. When you're next to me, I can do anything. I'll pack my bags and run away with you. Never look back.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Never Look Back by Alecia Elliot. And that's the song that you can definitely hear. It reminds me of Pink. The whole energy is certain parts of the song. That's the first song that I listened to. And I was like, man, that's got a lot of, it reminds me of a Pink song. And you can definitely hear the genres mixed in it. And I love the energy of the song and the lyrics.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love Pink too. Pink is awesome, and I always listened to her too. And there's definitely an influence of that. So,
So
yeah. So,
what is your so we know the first album, and so far after the country album, what is your like as far as your music history, your body of work thus far?
okay, so after I did the I'm Digging It album, we actually did a crossover album and a joint venture with Island Def Jam, MCA Nashville did.
Wow.
And so we recorded this pop album that never came out. And then after that, we did the All About Us thing, which was the TV show. And then after the TV show, that was when I started doing R&B music, because I thought, here's this big window. I'm not doing anything. I don't have anybody tell me you got to do this or you got to do that. And so I took that chance to just embrace my love of R&B and kind of just go full-fledged into that. And that's what I did. And, I did a lot of things in Los Angeles and Atlanta with just some of the R&B stuff that I worked on, which was really fun and exciting. I loved doing the shows. I loved doing that. I ended up working with a guy that was not very easy to work with. And sometimes there's somebody that gets in the way. You have to do what's best for you. And that's what I did. Well, it was a situation that everything was perfect except for that. But, just saying, stepping back was something I had to do for myself. And I did that, and I came home and I met my husband. I had my family, and I started really working on myself, and talking to God, because that's really what I needed that I didn't have. And, we kind of bring things to ourselves. We don't realize that. So I know that now, doing what I do, I'm ready, in every way, because I know I'm wiser in those ways. I know who to work with or not to work with by their energy. If it doesn't feel good, I know to my gut. There's a lot of snakes out there, and
it's very unfortunate. And you hit upon a lot of things. And I know, I do radio. I also do music, and unfortunately, especially with artists, like our music is our heart and soul. To where there'll be somebody else that sees a business, like they see profit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And that's all they see you. They don't see the soul you are, that you're actually their brother or sister, Yeah.
And then also like music, like, and you also mentioned like now that you have material, and a lot of material comes from experience. So now you have experience, and I mean you can hear it in the music, and it's awesome music. And so how does it can you so when I think of you, I think of like a Lenny Kravitz, a Janet Jackson, a Tina Turner, somebody that flips different genres, and Michael Jackson, like Michael would flip genres all the time. So is it easy to transition from like a country to a rock to R&B, or is it just like it's seamless?
It was easy for me. And the reason why is because I've listened to all of it my whole life. So I think that's a part of things. Most people listen. They usually choose a type of music that they're drawn to. And that's, most people are drawn to a couple maybe, but maybe usually not all. I mean, I'm sure musical people tend to be more like me in that way. But as far as singing it, they usually choose one. And so I know it kind of seemed a little odd to some people, but it was definitely something that it just came out that way. And so I thought, we're gonna do this. I knew what it was the influences of the rock and the R&B thing, and I knew that it was coming out. And I thought, I can mix this. I can do this. So really, I think, and if I wanted to sing a country song right after I sang one of those, it would just come out easily, because I sang that my whole life when I was a kid. I sang a lot of country music, and I also sang a lot of, like other pop type R&B things when I could get a chance. I always squeezed those things in, because I knew that was transitioning. I knew in myself that I was a soul singer, and I have to do that. I had to find a way to make it work with the two things. So,
because one thing that I found, and maybe you would agree with me, is like when they did the some of the country songs now, the guys are rapping, or that country road song, and then even with the Tim McGraw and Nelly, and I'm thinking, I'm like, hip hop is no different than country. I mean, the whole experience, it's very life. Like, I mean, hip hop is urban, country stems from like hard work, and I'm really like the music and the lyrics are no different. You know, I'm like, man, this is like, so country singers doing a little bit of rapping. I'm like, it makes sense.
Yeah. I think people are more open-minded now than they used to be, and I think that's important, you know, in a lot of areas. And, you know, we still have a lot of closed-minded people, but I think the more of us that are open-minded and help share these things in all of these areas, not just music, you know, but politically and spiritually and all these things, I think if we can do this, we can spread awareness and show people everything don't have to be the same. You know, it can grow and be bigger, and we can learn from each other. And
exactly, because it's all about the human experience. Like you said it before, we all experience the same thing. Everybody goes through the same thing. So, and you're right too. Hopefully, and we talked about Mike. That was I think the awesome thing about Michael Jackson was this guy could go to Bucharest and the people would sing his song. And even Celine Dion said like one of her motivations to learn English was Michael Jackson, you know, and that's like, it's the universal language is music. And, you know, and I always said that great artists, they strike a nerve with you. They hit an emotion. So, and with being
definitely an energy. We're spreading energy all over the place when people listen to that. So it's important that, you know, like now, when I was younger, a lot of the music I was doing was more sensual and you know, it was where I was at the time, you know. And now I'm somewhere else. So it's like I'm spreading a lot better energy now than I used to. I mean, I know the very first country album was a good energy, but I sort of went to a moment where I was going through my thing and my music came out that way, it made sense at the time. And it was good music. I'm not going to say it wasn't good, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying it was good music. And, but I'm happier now where I'm at because I'm a better example to others. And also I can spread some good energy that we need in this world.
Oh, we definitely need it now. So now we're going to go to my favorite song out of the 4 that you sent. I love this song right here, Voodoo. So
I knew you were going to say that.
I love this song. Give us a rundown on Voodoo, and then we'll go ahead and play it here on Deeper Than Music Radio. So what's the backstory, or you want to intro the song, or? Absolutely.
Voodoo is all about I know y'all have been in a situation like this before, where in a relationship it's just like it hadn't even been long, and you feel like you caught this person's itis, you know, like like you just caught it. There's something happened. It's unnatural. It must be some voodoo or something, you know. So that's what this song is about.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that person gave me the voodoo. I got the itis. I like that.
Itis.
Here we go. Voodoo on Deeper Than Music Radio.
When you're gone away, I am lonely. I let your heart It's so surprisingly chill. This voodoo you made me feel. And when it's dark at night, it's such a beautiful fright. Magic between us so real. This voodoo you made me feel.
That was Voodoo. Alecia Elliot here on Deeper Than Music Radio. That's when they got that voodoo on you and you're just constantly thinking about them. The itis. I'm just I love that. I'm about to use that term. You gave me some voodoo. I can't get you out.
Yeah. It's definitely like somebody slapped you with it. So I know y'all been through that. So at some point you felt it.
You remember True Blood, the intro song?
I think I do know what you're talking about.
It kind of has that vibe, like the intro to.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And then you said it had like the spell. So another great song here from you. And so I have a question. In your what was in your journey in your career the most rewarding moment that you've had thus far?
The most rewarding moment, it would have to be, I guess, just knowing that having all of that behind me and in my belt, I can really understand the business, kind of like we tapped base on this earlier. Mm-hmm. Understanding it more and understanding what I have to be more. It's rewarding now to be able to do what I want to do and see people happy when they hear my music, to see their faces and see that they're feeling what I'm doing or that they understand it. That is the most rewarding thing that I could be given, is that I'm actually spreading this healing energy, because that's what I believe we're given this for. We're writers, singers, actors. We're supposed to use it in a good way. So that's rewarding for me that I'm doing that now. I think that it's more rewarding now than the money I was making before. Yeah. I don't have that now, but I do have the other, and that's better. So, I definitely want the other to be, that would be nice to have some, success in that area. And yeah. I also want to write for other artists. That's a huge dream of mine to write.
I know Pink's first name is Alicia.
Yes, it's weird.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, you need to reach out to her. And then
if you're any of those songs, I would be ecstatic. That would be a dream,
So, and then my last question is, what does music mean to you?
What does music mean to me? Music is therapy. It's poetry. It moves me. It heals me. It heals people like nothing else. I keep talking about that, but what else is there to talk about?
Yeah, exactly.
It's to me, it's medicine. Music is medicine. So we can make it good or we can make it bad. So
I like that. Yep. Music is medicine.
It is. And there's good and bad medicine all out there, all day for us to decide to keep for throwback.
Yeah. There's a lot of good and bad. Last question. Where can fans and people that heard the show are like, man, I love the new music, where could they find you on the internet? This is shameless promotion time. Okay.
This is the thing, and I don't have a lot out there right now. This is all really fresh. So
okay.
Facebook is about the only thing, that I have, that I've been adding things and putting things. And there's actually not any website or anything like that. No tour dates, because I'm still finishing the album. I haven't even finished it.
Okay. So people, you guys are getting a treat right now. So
I don't have a deal. a record deal, so I'm doing all of this on my own, and which is fine. I thank God, I'm not doing it on my own. I've got God angels helping, and they're going to put me where I'm meant to be. So
exactly.
Yeah, so I'm pleased with this. But I think we're making progress, and hopefully I'll have something where I can do that for people, and hopefully have a website up soon and do some more things.
Okay. So Facebook page, and then here on Deeper Than Music Radio, this is going to be archived, and you can stream iTunes, iHeartRadio, and then Google too. I Googled your name, and because Alicia, the way you spell it is very unique. I've never seen it spelled that way before.
Yeah. I never could buy name tag things. Never. Never there.
So we have Alecia Elliot here, and then so the last and closing song we're gonna have is "Whatever Happened." And do you want to introduce that as our closeout song? Okay. So what's the feel and vibe behind this song?
This song is just like, the girl is just, she don't understand. She's given all, and this guy is just, he's not with it. So he acts like he wants the relationship, but he doesn't prove it. He doesn't show it with his actions. He speaks a lot, but he doesn't show a lot. So she's like, don't even ask me whatever happened. You know what happened. So this song is Whatever Happened. So. Wow.
Another good song. I love the songwriting, the stories you set up. That's pretty awesome. Reminds me of Sting. Like, Sting is very good. Like, his songs are like based on real life situations, and they have like a twist to them. And that's a good sign of good songwriting. Definitely good songwriting. And we gotta, like I said, Pink. I know, like, if you guys teamed up, that would be awesome. So
that would be a dream come true.
I'm putting that in the universe right now. So
send that energy out there.
So Alecia Elliot, thank you for coming out, and definitely keep us informed on what you're doing. And then we want to have you on here again once you finish the album to help promote and talk about it.
Absolutely.
So we're closing out Deeper Than Music Radio with Alecia Elliot. Here is Whatever Happened here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
My head spins. 1 minute you're up, then you're down again. Though right now